Hey guys, what's up? Vasily Lomachenko versus Jose Pedraza. Uh, my post-fight thoughts on the fight. I thought it was an all right fight. I thought we're used to expecting a little bit more from Lomachenko, so I think maybe that's why. But he just seemed like he wasn't getting his punches off as much as he usually does. He wasn't. He seemed like he was still pushing the action and he was being the aggressor, walking Jose down, but he wasn't letting his hands go as much. He was more playing a chess match with him, and it could just be stylistic wise that stylistically Jose Pedraza was trying to box him, so it was more of a chess match. And Pedraza does have the size advantage, and he is a champion. You gotta forget that this isn't really a tune-up fight. He Lomachenko unified the belts tonight, so it wasn't a tune-up fight. He was coming off of a layoff of over 6 months, and he's never. Uh, this is like his longest layoff in his whole boxing career, amateur and professional. And he was coming off of a shoulder injury, right? Surgery. So it's not. It wasn't a tune-up fight, so you can't really say it was that bad. Like his performance wise, definitely, I thought it was one of his more like one of his most least impressive performances of his professional career. But considering the guy, like I wouldn't say it's the most least impressive, but because the guy was bigger than him and he was a champion, and he's a natural 130-pound fighter. This was at 135. I would say even like he could still fight at 126 probably. 126, 130. Probably 130 is his best weight. 135 he starts pushing more of his limits for size. But like I said, yeah, he's coming off the shoulder injury, the layoff, longest layoff. So there's some ring rust there. It could just be ring rust. Like I said, stylistically, the guy was boxing him. He was longer, trying to box Lomachenko. So Lomachenko was playing it more like a chess match. Uh, but yeah, like I said, it was kind of boring because I think Lomachenko set such a high standard for himself, and maybe that's why too, because we're used to him just laying combinations on people, stopping people, making them quit. So when you get a fighter that pretty much he went the distance, but he almost got him out of there in round 11. He was pretty close to getting him out of there because Pedraza was taking a lot of shots and he wasn't really responding. Like he wasn't really that hurt, but he wasn't responding, and someone has to eventually step in and save the fighter from himself, because that's usually how you get brain damage. You take a lot of shots. It's not usually just one shot. It's a sustained beating, and that's bad for the brain. Like one shot compared to 50 shots. What would you rather? You know what I mean? So uh, he almost stopped him, but he didn't get the stoppage. Pedraza, you can tell I wouldn't say he was trying to. He was kind of trying to survive. I don't know if he really tried to win the fight, but he was in the fight. But so he wasn't in full survival mode, like, oh, I just want to make it to decision. But he still wasn't in full, oh, I'm going to do anything to win the fight, in my opinion, anyway, because it seemed like he wasn't really. He didn't have conviction in his punches. Like, he wasn't. He. What do you call it? He wasn't fully committing with his punches. Like, he wasn't putting full power in them to knock Lomachenko out. Because we all know when you fully commit with your punches, you can be wide open. Wilder example. Look what happened to him against Fury. Wilder's not afraid to throw bombs and throw his whole power, 100%, 110% power in each shot Wilder's throwing. And he misses big. when he misses big, and he gets countered by Fury. But when he does land, look what happens, right? He knocks people out, he knocks them down. And I feel like when you're more hesitant in trying, you're not fully trying your best to land a shot because you're afraid of counters or afraid to get hurt yourself. You're not throwing your punches with full force. And I'm not saying you have to throw every punch you have with full force at all, but you have to put a decent amount of power in it, like 70-80% power in it. You can't just throw 40%, 50% power in your punches just to keep the guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really doing any damage. And I felt like Pedraza was throwing a lot of those punches with no power in them. But he survived. He put up a fight. Kind of boring, though, like I said. The fight was boring. Round 11 was good. There was some spots where it was good. Lomachenko landed some good combinations, straight left hands. But overall, I would say it's more of a lackluster performance, like fight in general. Not performance-wise, Lomachenko still was a good performance on, if you're considering just a fighter in general, that's a good performance. But on his standards, he didn't land as much combinations as he usually does. Like I said, there's a variety of reasons for that. Could be ring rust, could be stylistic-wise. Guys, you know, like I said, he's not really committing himself for him to be countered, the opponent committing for you to land those vicious combos, but he still got the win. He still won the rounds, not dominated the rounds, but he won the rounds clearly, and it was a one-sided fight. But like I said, we'll see. It wasn't a tune-up fight. You got to give him respect there. He came from a major surgery into a title fight, so you got to give respect there. Respect to Pedraza. He didn't quit. Yeah, he called on Mikey Garcia after the fight. We'll see what happens there. But I think I'll make another video on it, but I think 140 and 147 would be too big for Lomachenko. Definitely too big. 147 definitely too big, but 140 I think would be too big for Lomachenko too. But I think he could go there, and he would meet serious opposition, but it would make up for great fights. But I think that would be his limit. 140 would be his final weight class, and if he went above that, I'd be surprised. Even if he fought a B-level fighter at 147, I'd be surprised. Because I think a B-level fighter would beat Lomachenko at 147. But we'll see if he even goes there, right? I could be wrong. He's just too small, in my opinion. The skills are there, the speed's there, the footwork's there, but the body frame is just too small. I found it, though, interesting how in the tape it said he was 5'7", but in other fights it said he was 5'5", 5'6", so I don't know what his actual height is, but he looks like a small guy. He doesn't have really broad shoulders, it seems, but his traps, he has like bigger traps than shoulders. It's like he has no shoulders. They're just traps to shoulder. You ever see those guys where their traps are just like, it's like they have no shoulders? That's what like Lomachenko, you know what I mean? He doesn't have like wilder shoulders, you know what I'm saying? But it was all right fight. Wasn't the most exciting fight, but like I said, we're just coming off the high of the Wilder Fury fight. That was a really good fight. We're coming off that high, and obviously that fight was way better than this fight. So anyway, Lomachenko, unanimous decision. Pedraza didn't quit. Lomachenko unifies the belts at 135. He has 2 belts now, I think. So stay tuned for more videos. PowerUpBoxing, stay powered up, guys. And see you in the next video.